everyone, I'm James Milan. Here at Talk of the Town, we like to go around the town of Arlington talking to different officials and members of different agencies and town groups about what it is that they do. And today is a fun day for us and for you, we hope, because we get to talk to Officer Mike Hogan, who has been working for the Arlington Police Department's K-9. He has been the K-9 division for how long now?
Past 10 years.
Hogan? For so a decade already.
Yep.
And this is a particular moment for us to have this conversation with you because unusually you're at a transition point. You have had
Correct.
one dog that everybody in town knows, that's Dasty, for 10 years.
10 years he's been working.
Yep, and now you've got a new dog. And why don't you just introduce us?
So my new K9 is K9 Eiko, who we acquired in September, and I started the patrol class in early September, and I just recently graduated a week ago.
So you acquired Eiko in September. How old is he? Eiko is a he, yes?
Correct. So he's 18 months now. So he was born in July.
So he had been already getting some kind of training or something over those first 10 or 12 months of his life before.
Right.
Being
a police dog, there's a ton of things that the dogs have to have in their background to do this job. So basically, Eiko started his training at 8 weeks old. So they have the dog at 8 weeks old, and they do a whole bunch of foundation work with the dog. You know, exposing them to environmental issues, making sure the dog can walk over, hop over curbs or climb up over a little, like a little fence.
Mm-hmm,
and
some kind of little obstacle.
Little obstacle courses. And there's things on a daily basis that you're doing with the dogs that they're not realizing, but you're exposing the dog to all these different things that's making him more comfortable. So when I ask the dog to climb a set of stairs or a ladder, he'll do it. So all this foundation work goes into it. So basically he started his training when he was 8 weeks old.
I know that both Dasty and Eiko are German Shepherds. Was Eiko in fact brought into this world to be a police dog?
Yeah, so genetically these dogs are wired for police work because there's different things that they would need to have. So they would need to have like toy drive, that they love a toy, because that's going to be one of the tools that I can get the dog to do one of these techniques for me, and he gets rewarded with a toy or food, or be comfortable and confident in his own abilities, that if I ask him to go in and do things, like maybe search a dark area by himself, he has to be confident enough to do that.
So German Shepherds as a breed just happen to have the right number of characteristics.
Yeah, and it depends what you're looking to have the dog do. So you could have a single-purpose bomb dog that might be a lab, because you want something that's really passive and has a good nose. If I wanted a dog, just a single-purpose dog for tracking, you'd pick a bloodhound because their noses are so strong and the ability to pick up on the odor is unbelievable. So we have a German Shepherd because Eiko, just like Dasty, will be a dual-purpose police dog at some point. So right now he just graduated from the patrol portion of the class. Within the next 6 months or 8 months, he'll go back to school to be a narcotics dog. So I'm going to expose him to all these different things, and I need him for 2 different jobs, which is a lot to ask of the dog. So I need a breed that's going to be able to do that.
I think you had mentioned earlier before we went on camera that you see the dogs functioning as tools. So talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, police dogs, it's an unbelievable tool, but their main job is it's a locating tool. So I need the dog to locate something for me, a person, a missing child, narcotics, a gun, some type of explosive device. So I need that dog to find these things. Now, a human can find stuff, but a dog's going to find it a lot easier. So they're going to be able to do that with their nose. And the easiest way for me to explain this is, it's basically like a bag of microwave popcorn. So we've all cooked popcorn in the microwave, and you can smell it in the other room. So what happens is that odor is burning off of that bag of microwave popcorn, and you can smell it from the other room. So you're like, hey, there's that popcorn, like I'm hungry, that's what I want. Well, the dog's basically doing the same thing for what I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for a gun that some person threw out into the woods or a field area, that gun is laying there. So my dog is going to be able to find that gun because that odor is burning off of that item. So my dog will be able to find a gun, and a bomb dog can find a gun. But my dog is finding that gun based on the human odor, where the bomb dog is finding that gun based on the gunpowder. And quick story, like years ago when I had Dasty, my son lost his Thomas the Train, which he used to carry in his hands all the time. My wife had called me, aggravated that we lost Thomas the Train. We're gonna have to get one tonight because my son's not gonna sleep. So I said, where are you? She's like, I'm down along the field, along the tree line. He lost it down here. I said, oh, I'll be right there. Because she was down in the area where I was working. I went down, I took Dasty out of the car, and he found the train within like under a minute. And I was so fascinated by that. But it goes back to what the dogs are taught. So that odor was burning off of the Thomas the Train. All the vegetation smelled the same except for that toy, and I found it easily. So it paid off. So I went to the police academy so I could find Thomas the Train.
Well, it's always good when there's a good domestic application for your work life as well. But that actually reminds me, you mentioned your son. So I assume that the dogs, both dogs now, Dasty though for the last 10 years, and you have been bonding all this time, and that he basically lives with you, is that right? Both dogs live at your house?
Both dogs live at my house. They're not in the house unless it's really cold out, so I have a really nice kennel set up. They both have really nice houses. Not a dog crate, it's a house. Siding, insulation, roof shingles, real siding. It's a dog hotel basically, but it keeps their body warm in the winter and cool in the summer. But I need my dogs to be acclimated to the weather at all times. So I don't have my dogs living with me because somebody said, are they aggressive towards their family? I said, no. It would take 3 days of the dogs laying around with the kids feeding them treats, laying on the couch patting them, and then I have to go out into the rain to do a search for something, and the dog's gonna be like, I'm not leaving here, I'm watching TV with the kids, like this is awesome. So they need to be acclimated to the weather at all times. And freedom to my dogs means work. But my dogs, all they want to do is work. They want to work, eat, and be left alone. So they have a purpose, they're work dogs, but they're a huge part of my family. Like I'll go out with my wife and kids and we'll take the dogs for a walk. So I can walk one of my police dogs and my house pet side by side because this is what we do and the dogs get used to it. So that being said, they're a huge part of my family. My kids can't wait to get home from school to see the police dogs, and they're over at the kennel patting them and everything else. But when it comes down at the end of the day, they have a job, and that's what I need the dog for. I've noticed, so Dasty, he wants to work, eat, and be left alone. He's kind of like a cat. He likes affection on his terms. Like, I'll go over and pat him, and he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I had enough of you, and he'll go back into the house. Where Eiko, maybe because he's a little younger, he's a lot warmer and wants to be near me a lot. So, like, he's more affectionate than Dasty. But that being said, they both have, like, all the same personality traits that I need to be good police dogs. And they really are, they're awesome. They both want to work and be rewarded. But that's how I train my dogs and not just my dogs, like all these police dogs or service dogs, they work for a reward. So depending on what I'm doing, like my dog is gonna get rewarded at the end. So if I told him to do something every single day and I never rewarded the dog, like a couple days later, like, I'm not doing this, I don't feel like it. What's the sense of doing it? I'm not getting rewarded for it. But if I take out a ball or food, they lose their mind because they're like, oh my God, there's the toy. And that's how my training comes into play, where I ask the dog to do something, he gets rewarded with verbal praise, a tug, playing tug of war, and then affection. And that's how it works.
And give us a sense of just how much you're using the dogs on a daily or weekly or monthly basis.
So we're constantly doing stuff with the dogs because it has to be like that. If I graduated and left the dogs in the car and did nothing with the dogs, these are perishable skills. They're gonna lose these skills that we've taught the dog. So even if I'm off, if I'm not working, I am still out with my dogs training, because if you wanna have a successful canine program, you need to train constantly. But if you do this job, you have to love it because it takes so much work. And I laugh because when I started the K-9 Academy 10 years ago, my wife, after a couple days, she's like, how is it? I'm like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. Every person there is just like me. And it's funny, like all the dogs have the certain temperaments. All the handlers are exactly the same. They're all type A, they love doing it, they're all competitive. But pretty much all the canine officers have the same personality, and they're just drawn to that job because they love animals, They love the challenge, and they love to train.
Yeah.
So it's like being an athlete. These dogs are athletes. So they need to be conditioned for whatever we're going to do, and they need to be physically fit to do this. And that's why we're bringing Eiko in. Dasty is still a great police dog. He's just getting older. It's on the other end of the spectrum for him. So
I think you said he's 12 years old now?
he turned 12 in December, which is, like, that's really, really old for a police dog. So he and I have been talking. He's looking at condos in Florida now. So when he sees one, maybe he'll be down there for the winter. He'll become a winter dog in Florida.
Yeah, somehow I don't think Dasty's going to take that separation from you well enough to be able to do that. So you were saying that that these guys need to be trained and need to stay active pretty much 7 days a week. You can't really take days off in that way.
It is 7 days a week.
But
no
how
question.
about in terms of the work that they're doing as police dogs? Are they deployed on a daily basis because there's always a reason for that?
So
or?
It depends, and that's the nature of being a police officer. You could go like a couple of days and not a lot of stuff happens, or you could get 5 unbelievable calls in a row. It's just you don't know what's going to happen. We can't predict what's going to happen. But I do work a lot because I train hard and I want my dogs to be successful. And being successful with a canine, you have to increase your numbers. So if you just drive around and don't...
if you don't have something to show for...
Right, I have to show that this program that we do works. So even if I'm not like out tracking a bad guy or looking for an item, like I'm in schools in town, all these Cub Scout groups, Girl Scouts, Brownies, like I go after people because I want to tell people about how awesome this program is. And I think if you look back over the last 10 years, you know, everybody in town is going to tell you the same thing. Like, it's a great program, but you have to expose people to the program because a lot of people don't know what I do for work, and they don't realize how much work it goes into it. But not being cocky, like I'm bragging. I want to go out and show you, like this. I put all this work into these 2 animals and watch what they can do. And it's amazing just to see what they can do.
Yeah, and I know most of the school kids in this town know Dasty's name, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I've been a police officer for 16 years. I'm a professional Uber driver for 2 dogs. Because the dogs know what to do. I just have to get the dog to the area and tell him what I'm looking to do. And the dog's the one who's going to be successful. I just drove him there. So they're the ones that get all the credit, as they should. But yeah, like, if I came in, kids are like, oh, there's Officer Hogan. If the dogs come in, they're like, who's Officer Hogan? Like, can I see the dogs?
So tell us a little bit about what misconceptions might be out there and that you'd like to disabuse people of. You know, like people think, oh, they think police dog and they think this, but that's not really true. Or that used to be true, but no longer the case.
So like years and years ago, like they had police dogs that were used for aggression work. And that's not the case. Like, these dogs are such finely tuned tools. So basically, these 2 dogs are search tools. I use these dogs to locate things. Like I said earlier before, these dogs are specifically trained to locate stuff. We can't arrest a bad guy or bad person unless we find them. And I need the dog to do that. So, like I said, I think that it's changed over the 10 years that I've had Dasty because they see it's much more of a wide variety of jobs that the dogs do. And I think you see that a lot more now that people realize what the dogs are for. Like, if you go to sporting events, you're going to see a canine there. If you go to the Red Sox parade, which I've worked, when the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, we were in Boston working crowd control with the dogs. So they have multiple jobs, and they're really good at doing them. It's just a matter of exposing the dog to what we're going to need them for. And that's why it always goes back to training. We train constantly for anything that might possibly happen. So, you know, my dog can climb a ladder to go into an attic because that might be something I'm going to need to do someday. So we train constantly. If we come up with an idea, hey, this actually might happen, the trainer will say, let's do it. Like, let's set it up and do it. And the dog might not like it the first time because he doesn't know. And then after you do it once or twice, then the dogs get used to doing it. And they're like, oh, you want me to climb that ladder? No problem. Oh, you want me to hop that fence? Yeah, awesome. You want me to hop the fence and lay down and you're going to give me a ball? Do it right now, no problem. So that's why a lot goes into it.
And I understand that you are, of course, you and the dogs together comprise Arlington Police Department's K-9 division. but you work beyond Arlington.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
I'll tell you, I will go anywhere that they need a dog because I want to get out there and I want my dog to be successful. So I'm going to go anywhere I have to be successful. That
And
being said,
there's a culture, I guess, among the police departments in this region of just basically helping each other out as necessary.
correct. So if I go on vacation, I'd call the Belmont dog or the Somerville dog, whoever's close to us, to cover for me because if I know I'm away that week, like I don't want the town to be left without this tool that we could use. So we take care of our programs together. So I will call another dog and tell him, like, listen, I'm going away next week. You gonna be around? Yes. And then, you know, my department knows, like, if I'm out, they'll call the other dog. But that being said, like, I'm on call 24 hours a day, and I never say no. Like, I will go to any call that comes in. I've been called out 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, noontime, whatever, I'm going. But that's where it comes back to loving your job, you know what I mean? So, unfortunately, sometimes, I laugh, but sometimes I'm gonna miss a family event or my family has to maybe suffer a little bit because, you know, we were gonna go to the aquarium today and I can't go because I had a call out. But my wife and kids understand, like, I need to go do this job because this is what I signed up to do. And when it comes down to it, you know, all the first responders, like the police officers, firefighters, EMTs, like, if you're in this line of work, it's because you like to help people. I want to go out and help people. And this is why I do this with the K-9, because I want to go to extra calls, because I want to have this tool that I can be successful and help somebody with. So if you do this job, it's because you love doing it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be successful at it. And you have to be, you have to love the job that you do it. So when I come to work, it's not even like work. I can't wait to get here every day. I love it. I love it.
Well, that is great to hear. It has been great to talk to you and hear both the stories and this constant theme of training that needs to happen with the dogs all the time. But I'd love for you to show us what you're talking about as well. So
Sure.
why don't you give us a little demonstration?
Hopefully with my training, all this hard work is going to pay off. And
That's
you'll
right,
see.
and we'll all be able to see for ourselves.
Right, exactly.
That's right. Okay, let's get to it.
Awesome.
Okay, we've got 2 articles here that have been in our news producer's pocket. And
Hopefully she hasn't bathed today because I'd like to scent them up a lot.
that's right, and we're going to get a practical demonstration right here.
So normally for training, I don't want to know what it is, but we need to do this together so I can actually show you. But if on one of my normal training practices, I wouldn't know where it is because I want to trust my dog. But for video purposes, we're going to need to do this. So we'll
All
just
right.
have you, you can just throw it over in the grass over
Okay.
there. So walk over a little further. Good. And then maybe to the right, like another 20 yards or so, just chuck it out there. Good. So basically, those 2 articles have been sent up for like 20 minutes or so. Like if a suspect had one in their pocket and they threw something. So I'm going to bring the dog out, and what you should notice is a change in behavior. So what's going to happen is you'll see his tail pick up, and you can't hide it. Like when he gets on that, you're going to see the tail wag a lot faster. So it's just like him waving a flag, like, "Hey, Dad, it's right here." And that's for me bonding and spending time with him that I pick up certain things that the dog's doing. And that's my job, is to notice the change in behavior with the dog. And that's how I learn too. I'm also getting imprinted that, geez, every time he finds an article, that tail speeds up and it's a lot faster. So he's found something there. And then he should down, and I'm going to reward him with a little bit of food.
Where is it? Where is it? What do you got? Where is it? Show me. Yes.
I'm telling you right now, if it's over there, he'll find it. Because you can't hide it from the dogs. When that odor is there, the dog is going to find it. The dog knows what we're doing, so like that goes back to the sometimes misconception that they come out of the car and all they want to do is eat people. Where that's not true at all. Like you can see he was working the whole time. There's some other distractions around. There's people walking through the park, there's other dogs, but he is focused on what we're doing because that's what he gets rewarded for. My department has me go to these different schools and departments, and we do a lot of stuff with the stranger danger, internet safety, like all that's included with the dog program. And that's what the public needs to know is like, yeah, he's a search tool, but he's also a huge community policing tool where it brings us into the schools, into the community, and people, I feel more comfortable with dealing with the police department because we're not just some agency that goes out there and pulls people over and writes tickets all the time. Like we're out there just trying to help people, and I feel, and my department feels, that if you get out into these schools and let people know that we're out there to help and answer questions, the public's going to feel more comfortable in dealing with us and have more confidence in us. So they'll call us earlier because they feel more comfortable and confident in dealing with the police department.